Eleanor Whitmore was born into a life that never gave her choices, only necessities. She grew up in a narrow house on the edge of a forgotten town, where winter air slipped through cracked windows and silence filled most rooms. Her father worked irregular jobs, never staying long enough at one place to be trusted. Her mother cleaned houses when she could, coming home tired, hands raw, eyes empty. Love existed in that house, but it was exhausted, worn thin by bills, hunger, and disappointment. From a young age, Eleanor understood something important. Asking for things was dangerous. It disappointed people. So she learned to stay quiet. At 8 years old, she learned how to stretch meals, how to eat less so others could eat more. At 10, she learned how to lie politely when teachers asked if everything was okay at home. By 12, she learned that kindness earned praise, and praise sometimes earned help. When her mother fell ill, Eleanor became a caretaker long before she understood the word. She boiled water, counted pills, and sat beside the bed listening to shallow breathing. Neighbors would say, "She's such a good girl." Eleanor absorbed those words deeply. Being useful felt like being loved. School was not a place of dreams for Eleanor. It was a place of reminders other children with new shoes. Packed lunches, parents who came to meetings. She worked after school cleaning grocery aisles and wiping counters, handing her pay directly to her mother without complaint. When her father left, no one was surprised. He left behind debts, silence, and a deeper kind of poverty. Eleanor did not cry. Crying had never changed anything. By 16, Eleanor dropped out of school. There was no dramatic decision, no rebellion, just necessity. Bills had to be paid. Food had to be bought. Dreams were optional. Survival was not. She worked wherever she could: kitchens, laundry rooms, nursing homes. The nursing home was where she learned the most. Old people were quiet. They needed patience, not speed, and they noticed kindness. A warm voice, a glass of water, a hand held a second longer than required. For the first time, Eleanor felt respected. But respect did not pay rent. Her 20s passed in shared rooms and temporary jobs. She avoided friendships because friendships expected things time, money, emotion. She avoided love because love made people dependent. Dependency frightened her. There were nights she went to sleep hungry, staring at the ceiling, counting hours until morning. There were winters she wore the same coat until the lining tore. Each hardship hardened her just a little more. Eleanor did not become bitter overnight. It happened quietly. She noticed how the world treated the poor with suspicion, impatience, and indifference. She noticed how mistakes were forgiven more easily when you had money. She noticed how suffering was ignored until it became inconvenient. Slowly, something shifted inside her. She stopped believing the world was fair. Then she stopped believing fairness mattered. Kindness, she learned, was power. When you were kind, people trusted you. When they trusted you, they stopped watching closely. And when no one watched, you had control. This realization did not make Eleanor evil. It made her practical. By her late 20s, she was known as reliable, calm, helpful. She never raised her voice. She never complained. People liked having her around because she made things easier. But inside, Eleanor felt nothing like gratitude. She felt tired, empty, and quietly resentful. She had given her youth to survival. She had followed rules that never rewarded her. She had been good and it had not saved her. So, Eleanor began to believe that morality was a luxury for people who could afford it. She told herself she deserved stability. She deserved safety. And if kindness was the tool that gave her those things, then kindness would be used. By the time Eleanor reached her 30s, she no longer saw herself as struggling. She saw herself as surviving better than most. She had learned the system. She knew how to appear gentle, harmless, necessary. She never thought of herself as cruel. She thought of herself as someone who had endured too much to remain naive. Eleanor's story is not one of sudden darkness, but of slow erosion. Poverty did not turn her into something else. It reshaped her priorities, dulled her empathy, and taught her that survival came before virtue. And perhaps the saddest truth of all was this: if Eleanor had been given security, dignity, and choice earlier in life, she might have become someone very different. But poverty does not ask who you could be. It asks only what you are willing to do to endure.